Today we will discuss SSLC Science exam most important concepts. In physics, most important diagrams are generator or motor diagram, ray diagram. In ray diagrams, concave mirror and lens. Next lesson, electricity. Ohm's law. The potential difference across the conductor is directly proportional to the current in the circuit. Joule's law. Factors on which resistance depend. Definitions. Power 1 ampere 1 volt. SI units. Current, resistivity. Disadvantages of series connection. In this, one numerical problem is compulsory. Next lesson, magnetic effects of electric currents. Fleming's left hand rule and right hand rule. Faraday's electromagnetic induction experiment. Principle of motor. Overloading or short circuit. Next lesson, light. In this, laws of refraction, refractive index, power of lens. One numerical problem is compulsory in this, and ray diagrams. Next lesson, human eye and the colorful world. In this, myopia, hypermetropia, dispersion of light, rainbow formation, twinkling of star. Next, early sunrise and delayed sunset, blue color of sky. Next question, color of sun is red during sunrise and sunset. Why? Next lesson, sources of energy. Disadvantages of fossil fuels. Limitation of wind energy. Limitation of hydropower energy. Advantages of bioenergy. Hazards of nuclear energy. Now we will discuss chemistry. Chemical reaction and equations. Reaction of calcium oxide with water. Type of reactions. Oxidation reaction. Decomposition reaction and types. Reaction of sodium with water. Copper oxide plus H2 gives rise to copper oxide plus water. The substance that is oxidized or reduced. Oxidizing and reducing agent. Double decomposition reaction. Example based question. Decomposition activity based questions. Balanced chemical equations. Rancidity and corrosion. Diagram of electrolysis of water. Next lesson, acid bases and salts. In this, name the gas liberated when acid react with metallic carbonate. pH of acidic solution, basic solution and neutral solution. What happens if pH value of the solution increases and decreases? What are the gases liberated when dilute HCl react with zinc carbonate? Dry HCl gas test. Products obtained during chloroalkali process and their uses. Using of baking soda, bleaching powder, washing soda, POP and gypsum. Why dry HCl gas does not change the color of dry HCl gas? Dilution of acid. Reaction of zinc granules with dilute H2SO4 diagram. Acid solution in the water conduct electricity diagram. Reaction of zinc granules with dilute H2SO4 diagram. Why toothpaste is basic in nature? Give reason. Next lesson, metals and non-metals. Physical properties of metals and non-metals. Chemical properties of metals. Metals react with cold water, potassium and sodium. The reaction of calcium with water is less violent. The heat evolved is not sufficient for the hydrogen to catch fire. Properties of ionic compounds. Electron dot structure. Formation of sodium chloride and magnesium chloride. Amphoteric oxides definition and examples. Hydrogen gas is not evolved when a metal react with nitric acid. Ionic compounds do not conduct electricity. Give reason. Ionic compounds have high melting point. Give reason. How can we prevent corrosion? What is galvanization? Alloys definition and alloys of brass, bronze and solder. Next lesson, carbon and its compounds. Saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Definition of isomerism, homologous series, substitution reaction, hydrogenation reaction, combustion reaction with their equations. How can you convert alcohol to carboxylic acid? Write the electron dot structures of ethene, ethane, ethine, hexane, cyclopropane and benzene. Difference between soaps and detergents. How many covalent bonds are present between, for example, ethane or propane? How many single and double bonds are present between, for example, alcohol, ethanoic acid, etc. Next lesson, periodic classification of elements. Difference between Mendeleev's and modern periodic law. Reasons. Sodium and magnesium are present in third period. How many shells are present? What happens atomic radius in the modern periodic table as we go from left to right and top to bottom? What happens metallic character in the modern periodic table as we go from left to right and top to bottom? Why 18th group is called inert? What happens non-metallic character in the modern periodic table as we go from left to right and top to bottom? 4 laws. Now we will discuss biology. Important diagrams are structure of stomata, human heart, nephron, neuron, digestive system, excretory system, human brain, longitudinal section of flower, human digestive system, germination of pollen on stigma. These are the important diagrams. Next lesson, life processes. What is photosynthesis? List the events occurred during photosynthesis. Role of small intestine in digestion. Role of enzymes in digestion. Flowchart of breakdown of glucose, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration difference, and products obtained during aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Transportation in plants, double circulation, function of lymph, structure and function of nephron. How do plants excrete? What is the importance of separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood? Why do ventricles have thick valves? Control and coordination, structure and function neuron, pathway involved in the reflex reaction, pathway involved in the reflex action, human brain parts and its functions, plant hormones and functions, animal hormones and functions, trophic movements, positive and negative trophic movements. Why is adrenaline hormone called emergency hormone? Iodized salt is advisable. Give reason. Next lesson, our environment. Food chain and food web. Learn to identify the different trophic levels. Why trophic levels has highest toxic substance? In ozone layer. How is ozone layer formed? What is the importance of ozone layer? How do ozone depletion take place? Role of decomposers in ecosystem. CFC refrigerators are eco-friendly. Give reason. Flow of energy is unidirectional. Give reason. Next lesson. How do organisms reproduce? Asexual reproduction and its types. How sexual reproduction flowering plants does takes place. Explain the seed and fruit formation in flowering plants. Function of parts of male and female reproductive system. What happens when egg does not fertilized? What is the role of placenta? Different types of contraceptive methods and their use. How to avoid sexually transmitted diseases. Consistency of DNA copying during reproduction is important. Why? Next lesson, heredity and evolution. Monohybrid and dihybrid checkerboard. How can we determine the sex of the child? Acquired and inherited traits. Tools to determine the evolutionary relationship in human beings. How can we determine the age of the fossils? Evolution of eye and feathers. Developing different vegetables, cabbages is artificial selection. Why? How do genes control the characteristics of tallness of a plant? Factors responsible for speciation. Next lesson, sustainable management of natural resources. Concepts related to reduce, reuse and recycle. Whom do we call stakeholders? Justify. Problems caused due to construction of dams. What is rainwater harvesting? Advantages of watershed management. Management of forest and wildlife is challenging. Reuse is better than recycle. Give reason. Management of natural resources require a long term. Why? Thank you.